Cities are built on routines. People wake up, go to work, return home, and rest, all while believing the streets they walk are safe. But sometimes, in the middle of ordinary life, extraordinary horrors unfold, unnoticed by most until it is too late. In Nairobi, the capital of Kenya, millions of people live side by side, trying to survive the challenges of daily life. The city is alive, vibrant marketplaces, where voices rise in bargaining, matatus racing through the streets, and the constant hum of ambition. But behind the energy and chaos of Nairobi lies another reality: poverty, struggle, and neighborhoods where life is cheap and the most vulnerable often go unseen. It was here, in the informal settlement of Mukuru Njenga, that one of Africa's most shocking crimes came to light in 2024. A place where tin-roofed shacks crowd each other, narrow paths twist between makeshift homes, and daily survival depends on quick wits and resilience. But within this community, beneath the surface, something darker was at work. When police entered Mukuru Njenga that July, they found something that defied imagination. Bodies, human remains, women who had vanished without explanation. At first, it was thought to be a single crime scene, perhaps linked to gang violence. But as they counted the bodies, one after another, the horrifying scale revealed itself. Dozens of women. Some had been missing for months, others for years. The trail of violence stretched back further than anyone could have imagined. Nairobi had been living with a predator in its midst, a man hiding in plain sight. His name, Collins Jumaisi Khalusha. To his neighbors, he looked like just another face in the crowd. An ordinary man, sometimes friendly, sometimes quiet, blending into the daily grind of Nairobi life. But behind closed doors, Khalusha harbored something darker. He confessed to killing 42 women. Yes, 42, including his own wife. The media named him the Mukuru Serial Killer. Families called him a monster, and the country demanded to know, how could this go unnoticed for so long? Serial killers are often thought of as Western phenomena, the likes of Ted Bundy in the United States, Andrei Chikatilo in Russia, or Jack the Ripper in Britain. But Khalusha's case shattered that illusion, proving that such predators can emerge anywhere, especially in societies where poverty, corruption, and weak policing leave cracks wide enough for evil to flourish. And just when the country thought justice would be served, a twist came that made the story even more disturbing. On the 15th of August 2024, only weeks after his arrest, Khalusha escaped. Not a daring escape like in movies. No, this was worse. Reports suggested that he simply walked out of custody, aided by insiders at the very police station meant to guard him. Imagine the outrage. The man who confessed to killing 42 women, free again, roaming somewhere in the city, or perhaps far from it. And yet, the world barely noticed. International headlines gave the story a few moments, but soon attention shifted elsewhere. For the families of the victims, however, the wound remained open, raw, and bleeding. What happened to those 42 women? Who were they? How did Khalusha lure them? And the most chilling question of all, how could a man who confessed to so many murders simply disappear from justice? This story is not just about one man's crimes. It is about the systems that failed to stop him, the communities that ignored warning signs, and the wider truth about how serial killers thrive in places where victims are invisible to society. Tonight, we will take you inside the chilling case of the Mukuru Serial Killer. We'll explore Khalusha's background, his pattern of killings, how investigators stumbled upon the mass grave, and the scandal of his escape. We will hear about the lives stolen, the families left without closure, and the larger questions about safety, justice, and accountability in Kenya and beyond. This isn't a story for the faint of heart. It is a story of shadows, of a man who killed at least 42 times and may still be out there. Nairobi is not unfamiliar with crime. Robberies, kidnappings, even murders happen in big cities worldwide. But serial killing, systematic, repeated, targeted killing, is rare in Kenya. Perhaps that's why Khalusha was able to operate for so long without raising suspicion. The truth is, many of his victims came from society's margins. Women living in poverty, often unprotected, sometimes without strong family ties. Women whose disappearances were not headline news, and whose deaths went unnoticed until their remains surfaced in Mukuru Njenga. Serial killers, experts say, often choose victims who are vulnerable, those least likely to be missed. In this, Khalusha followed a chillingly familiar pattern seen across the world. As we journey into this case, I want you to keep something in mind. The number 42. 42 women, each with a name, a face, a story. Lives that should have mattered. For every statistic, there is a human being, ripped from their families, denied a future. Collins Jumaisi Khalusha may have thought of them as disposable, but in this story, we will give them back their humanity. Because to understand the horror of the Mukuru serial killer, we must begin not only with the man who committed these crimes, but with the society that allowed it to happen. So, who was Collins Jumaisi Khalusha? How did an ordinary-looking man transform into one of Africa's most notorious killers? And how, after admitting to everything, did he walk free? To answer that, we must step back into the shadows of his life, long before the bodies were found.